Good afternoon. It is Thursday, June 19th. I skipped the last few days. Monday, worked all day, played D&D. Tuesday, worked all day, hung out lazing around, and lost the game of The Cure with Beth. Yesterday, worked all day, then Beth finally did her homework while I just scheduled videos online. So we've really just been having boring days at home, having like soup and such. Today we do movie day though.
Movie day!
We're gonna do Parmesan chicken and baked potatoes.
Mostly,
and we're gonna
mostly because we still had eggs that we need to use for the Parmesan breading.
Yeah. And watch a movie. I picked the movie last week. We loved it so much.
It was fine.
So Beth's gonna choose a movie this week. Have you thought about your decision?
I have a thought.
Okay.
But I think it might be too long.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm gonna look around a little bit.
Okay, so she has no thoughts.
I have a thought, but
Apparently
I don't
no thoughts.
know.
And I stalled getting things ready for potatoes, and apparently Beth's made a decision now.
I didn't know I was supposed to make a decision.
Yeah? You just didn't have what you weren't sitting there at work all day thinking about it?
No, I was working.
That's what I do when I'm needing to make it. You just gotta pull it out. What is we doing?
Are you ready?
As ready.
Are you ready?
As ready.
It's Les Mis time.
Oh, you sure you want to watch that, Les Mis? Because we could, if you'd rather,
No.
watch Les Mis.
No.
But-
I want this one.
But Les Mis.
But Les Mis.
But Les Mis.
Garbage!
Have you seen that one?
No, have you seen this one?
No.
Then we're watching mine because it's my week. And also, I intentionally looked and saw that you've got some space, still post Harry Potter, and that this was before Lord of the Rings, so it will fit in nicely.
Okay.
So I thought about it for you too.
Okay.
You're welcome.
She's a crazy girly.
You can pick this one next week if you want. I will happily watch it. We can do our Les Mis duology. But this week, Les Mis.
What year is that, Les Mis? 2012 Les Mis. She wants to watch the 2012 version of Les Misérables.
Les Misérables.
Miserables.
Les Misérables.
So do people just abbreviate to Les Mis because they can't agree on how to pronounce it?
Correct.
Got it. The French. I'm sure it's a very happy movie. It's gonna put me in a good mood, right? That's what I'm expecting. We're gonna settle down. We're gonna make some dinner, and we're gonna watch a nice, happy movie about the French. Les Miserables.
I didn't ask you if you wanted
It
a
must
happy
be-
movie. Did you want a happy movie?
Must be the joyful people.
I can pick a different people. I think it's the miserable people.
What?
But I can pick a different one if you wanted a
No.
happy movie. We watch High School Musical. High School Musical is always happy.
No, I guess apparently she wants us to be depressed.
I wanted.
Buckle up for depression.
I know in my textbook yesterday they were talking about the ethics of the story, and then I got a song stuck in my head, and I was like, I kind of wanted to watch it not that long ago, and now I really want to watch it because I was just thinking about it yesterday. So that's kind of why it got picked.
She was
but-
singing it yesterday, and I kind of expected it to be this. She's a little predictable. But yeah, so we're gonna.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna settle in. We're gonna watch 2012's Les
Miserables.
that one.
Les Miserables.
And I would give Les Miserables a 7.1 out of 10.
Okay.
That's a tough one to rate. From the back of the box, Hugh Jackman, Academy Award winner Russell Crowe, and Anne Hathaway star in this critically acclaimed adaptation of the epic musical phenomenon. Set against the backdrop of 19th century France, Les Misérables tells the story of ex-prisoner Jean Valjean, Jackman, hunted for decades by the ruthless policeman Javert, Crowe, after he breaks parole. When Valjean agrees to care for factory worker Fantine's, Hathaway, young daughter, Corsette, their lives are forever changed. This enthralling story is a timeless testament to the survival of the human spirit and an unforgettable experience. So, The movie is beautiful. Some of the songs are good. Some of the songs are really just... like, sometimes they're telling the story through song, and it makes it where I'm having trouble figuring out what's the story. So, but some of the songs are really good. It is wonderfully acted. It is a heavy, depressing movie. It's sad. It's miserable. Like throughout the first 3/4 of the movie, every time they're introducing a new bit of hope, they make sure to introduce someone new in despair first. Oh, is something good possibly going to happen? Well, before we tell you, no, it's not really a good thing happening, we're going to introduce something bad first so you don't get your hopes up too much of the maybe good thing before they spoil the maybe good thing and continue the other new bad thing they've introduced. It is weird to consider Hathaway one of the stars. She is in such a small percentage of the movie, though it's heavy. It's a heavy point.
And it's a key role.
It's deep. It's depressing. It's miserable.
Yeah. She's the saddest story.
Yeah. But in general, people dying tends to be the happiest points, because then they get to stop being miserable.
Yeah. That's a way of looking at it. It is kind of accurate.
But yeah, so I mean, the acting is beautiful. They did a good job. Great singing. Most people are bad. As much as they harp on Jean Valjean as being bad because he stole some bread, I'm like, no. He's bad because he stole silver. He's bad because he stole silver. And one of the few good people in the movie that turned him to God by just saying, no, I gave it to him. Let him go. Gave him a chance. And from then, he did his best to make up for it. To make up for the wrongs and try and do good. And he was multiple times merciful to Javert hunting him. And it took a few times before Javert happened to notice, hey, wait, he's showing me mercy, and kills himself for it. Which I'm like, okay, but you didn't feel like that the first time or two that he did that?
No, Javert is a very sad character. I feel like he's
lawful neutral. He's a paladin.
Yeah, but he's so caught up in following the law that he's very much blinded by it. Yeah, to a very strong fault. And even though he's given multiple chances to see that the world is not black and white, and to see that there is gray, and that people can do a not good thing and still work to try to be better than their last moment, he can't see it. And then when he finally does, he's like, but I would be in debt to this awful person who's not really an awful person. He's just a person. Javert is just a person. Yes, he has done bad things, but he a lot of them he did in desperation, which
Jean Valjean?
Yeah, Jean Valjean.
Yeah, their names are too similar.
Their names are too similar.
The names not being adapted culturally definitely causes some confusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever.
But it's fine.
Anyways, I mean, it ends with some joy with Eddie Redmayne and Claudette.
Cosette.
Yeah. I'm sorry, her name got mispronounced.
Amanda.
They made fun of her name so many times in the movie, it's hard to keep it straight.
But Amanda Seyfried. You didn't call Marius by his name, and you're going to get...
Yeah, I don't know his name. I wouldn't have known the other two. I was prepared to call them Crow and Jackman if not for having just read them on the back of this book.
Yeah.
Case, whatever.
But yeah, no. Amanda Seyfried. Yeah, no. At one point while watching it, he's like, no one gets. I'm like, I mean, Cosette kind of does. She.
Yeah, it was like, because probably about halfway through, I was like, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "No, no, I'm not okay." No, it was definitely trending for a much lower score halfway through because they hadn't shown any signs of hope.
No.
Like it took me probably halfway through before I started able to cry at anything, because at no point was there enough hope for me to have tears. It literally starts with enslavement and just goes downhill from there.
You know, there's a turn in the movie when Cosette is saved, and in that point, and there's the whole revolution, and all of them have hope.
The turn in the movie is when we see that little boy in the revolution. That is actually where the turn is.
Yeah, no, that's right, because the pulling Cosette away is still very upsetting. No, that is the act that switches it of now Cosette's been in a safe
and there is
place.
hope.
And, yeah,
now,
and
to be
hope.
fair, the hope that they're feeling is hope for their revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets squandered. No.
For sure.
Everyone but Eddie dies from that.
Yep.
And she all cries like when the little kid dies, and I'm like, man, he lasted 3 times longer than I thought he was going to when he showed up and was hopeful. I'm like,
No, Gavroche.
little boy.
Gavroche always just breaks my heart because
He's a child.
He's a child. He's a child, and the only other times you really see children are Cosette when she's a child and Eponine.
Eponine's a pretty good character. Eponine was a generally good character.
Yes.
It took her the last good thing that she did, it took her a while.
Yeah.
But the fact that she kept that letter with her means she was always thinking about the fact that she loved Marius enough that she wanted him to be happy more than she wanted herself to be happy.
Correct.
She did multiple actions. She screamed and disobeyed her father in order to save the woman that the man she loved. She did not have to do.
No.
She could have simply been passive and been in a position to be more likely to get her own happiness.
Yeah.
But she was willing to sacrifice her own happiness for his. No, she was a generally good character.
She was. And you also see, like, just because you see them versus children, and Eponine as a child is the... I mean, she's
a child of the comic relief.
Right, she's a child
which
of the comic
feels
relief.
really awkward having that comic relief. I mean, because they're like, of course, wicked people comic relief. Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter.
Amazing.
Which, you know, they're great actors.
They're great.
Of course, whatever from they pair together. It's another sad one. Sweeney Todd.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's in that too?
Yeah. Yeah. He's the rival barber.
Okay. Okay, I've only seen it once, so
Okay.
I'm sure. I saw it once with you for movie day. So it's been a bit. Because that was original movie days.
Yeah.
We were still in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get it. There are certain parts where you're like, really, what the heck? They're kind of needed in just such a depressing movie that, like...
You know what? If it was they're needed
depression.
because of the depression, you know where they would have shown up? 45 minutes earlier.
No, I mean, because they're also part of the problem. Like,
Yep.
you can just see them as they're, like, helping the revolution, but they're only in it for themselves. They're stealing from these guys and being like, they're not gonna live. And, like, making little comments throughout their songs of, like, they won't need them tomorrow, so we might as well take them now. Like, they're absolutely awful, too.
Yeah.
Just in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very much you imagine that Eponine's going to end up more like them, and very much does not. Very different from her parents.
Yeah. Yeah. She was good. Of course the priest. The priest at the beginning was good. He was a generally good man.
Yeah.
Jean Valjean worked to be good after having been wicked.
Yeah.
Cosette was neutral.
Cosette doesn't really have much of a moral.
She didn't have hardship to...
No, she's just she had hardship as a child and then was saved out of it. And as a child, you know, she wasn't good or bad. She was a child. She was being abused, basically.
Yeah.
And then, you know, was saved out of it and then got to just live a relatively comfortable but sheltered life. You know, she doesn't really have much moral sway in her.
Yeah. So, there are, of course, similarities to various things. Like, there's similarities I see to Hunchback of Notre Dame. Just like the villain's like self-righteous aspects.
Yeah.
As if he's like, there's things I see with that, and of course also with the whole French background. There is a point where Jackman's character's like, yes, let's do this and go to England, and I'm like, why didn't you do that 15 years ago? Stuck with Paris, did you? You know, you wouldn't have had so much trouble if you just left. I mean, the whole thing's in English. Obviously, they're speaking French. Learn a language. You are an incredibly intelligent man. You could pick it up.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Work through it and not be hunted. Not have the surrogate daughter that you have pledged to keep safe because you felt guilty through your inaction, causing her mother to end up in squalor and death. Learn a new language. Leave. I'm like, get out of there. What are you doing? I'll hunt you all across Paris. Bye. My thought, like, when he's all, like, at the very beginning, he's all like, you gotta keep these papers with you. I'm all like, well, just leave the country. They don't like you because you're a criminal. Just go. I mean, this is, you know, freaking 19th century. Get out of France. You don't need to stay in France. The borders aren't so well secured and people aren't so well documented. You could just go to another country and they don't necessarily know.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, people aren't so well documented in their own country that he can hide decently well for 15 years.
Yep. Become mayor.
Became mayor.
Because he's a good man.
He is.
He worked on it and tried and was like, nope, I feel guilty. I do love that he'd stolen the silver when he was given the silver, and after being returned by the police, the priest was like, you forgot these, and he gave him silver candlesticks. Why would you forget the finest things I gave you? And the fact that at the point in the end where he is dying, he has carried those with him, and that he has those set up in the church where he's gone to die. There's heartwarming bits.
No, because you even say that I think he did bad things. I don't think he was ever a bad person, if that makes sense. Like, he stole, but I
think at that point that he stole not the bread, but the silver. Yeah, I think he was a bad person at that point. I think that he had been beaten down by the system enough that he had chosen, if you just think I'm bad, I'm going to be bad. Because he was at a point where he freaking could have just been like, hey, can I just become a monk in this church? And you know what? And told them, here's my papers, here's what this is. And they just said, yes, we will let you have this calm and peaceful life. You can keep your parole. You can go do your meetings and return here. We will vouch for you. You have a home. They would have done that.
Yeah.
There is zero doubt that they would have said, no, if you want to turn a new leaf, you can do that here.
Yeah.
He could have. But that's not what he wanted.
Right.
He wanted to do things his way. And so he chose the people that were kind to act against. So that is why I say at that point he was a bad person.
Okay.
I'm not saying he was before. I'm saying I think that after he is released and you see him turned away, denied food, denied shelter, time and again, he chose to be a bad person. And I'm not saying he stayed it long.
Right.
Because God got to him. But
right.
Anyways, it's a heavy movie. Would not recommend. but
No, it's really good. It's really good.
It might leave you feeling depressed.
You should watch
but
it.
if you want to watch something deep, like there's Schindler's List or things like Les Misérables. Just up there. Not going to be a happy experience, but it is deep and it is meaningful and it is beautifully shot and acted.
And the songs are so good.
Some of the songs are good.
The main
songs
song.
The songs later in the movie are better than the songs earlier in the movie.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are ones that feel like it's very talky and they're like moving through it and it's almost more like lines. Those don't feel like songs.
They're songs.
They're
songs.
songs.
And they are me trying to be. Wait, what's going on? What? I don't.
We've got a live non-musical one that we'll need to watch at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while because it's probably also depressing.
Weird. You think it's gonna also be depressing? Honestly, it might even be more depressing because there won't be songs.
Anyways, thank you for joining us. Join us as our journey continues.
With hopefully happier movies.
Bye.
Bye.